Good evening and welcome to the UJ Art Gallery and to this magnificent exhibition entitled The Blind Alphabet Letter B, Sculpture and Sound by Willem Boshoff and Jaco Meyer. We are so fortunate to host this exhibition in the gallery tonight in real life, real time, real space. We have been working on the oeuvre of Willem Boshoff for a long time, since 2020 when we started the Moving Cube website. We documented everything that related to this letter B and the blind alphabet. In the meantime, QR codes have been added to each of the artworks. These QR codes can be read through an application that was developed by Marco Bester. So we're very proud to have this digital moment, especially with a university that's aimed at the fourth industrial revolutions and all its implications. So please enjoy the rest of the evening with us. You are welcome to visit the gallery in small groups to experience the blind alphabet firsthand. And thank you for coming.
Cancel. Button. Flash. Flash. Cancel. Flash.
Hi.
Blind alphabet. Heading. Made writer by the MT Bakery.
Bacate.
Heading.
Bacate means bearing berries or berry-like, and baciferous only refers to bearing or reproducing berries. In Latin, a bacca is a berry, but it can also be an olive or a pearl. Baccatus is Latin for beaded, to adorn someone with pearls, or to set pearls in something. Berries themselves are not bacate or bacated. It sounds wrong to call berries berry-like. Pearls on a string, drops of dew on a spider's web, and the clustered buds of flowers are bacate. The pulpy texture of a berry is its bacca. Baccae form is berry-shaped, but an object is not usually compared to the shape of a single berry, except in the case of ambiguous botanical fruit that needs closer description.
Would you like to try another one?
Yeah, we can. Oh, that's the cathedral music.
Yeah.
That's one of the things they
It's so
had there.
cool. How do you experience it? Is it very much different from the Braille?
From reading the Braille, yeah, it's actually nice.
Is it
It is actually very difficult for me because I am a Braille reader, but to do it from this viewpoint is totally different, and it brings another experience to the whole artwork.
Oh, that's
With the
cool. That's so
music.
fantastic.
Yes.
I think we do another one and then we call on Willem and the team to
Yes.
join us.
Sure.
Which one would you like?
You've got 40. How many?
40,
Place
yeah.
40 now.
Let's try the cross one. There you go. Take it a bit back. Yeah, there. There it goes.
Barbet. Barbet is a heraldic term for having a barb or for being barbed. A barb is a small hooked process, and the word derives from the Latin barba for beard. Heraldic faces sporting the heraldic beard are appropriately indicated as barbed, is stylistically shaped into the triangulate processes of the points of arrows and spears. If an arrowhead has two barbs, one above the other, it is termed double barbed.
Interesting. The music linked up to the that's the interesting part for me now.
But does the music really reflect what you are feeling there with your hands?
Yes, because this is the barbed one, so it's double. So you've got the
Dragon has often been illustrated
when you play
as
guitar, they
having
sort of
stayed,
pick the
Yeah.
bar, and then because of the one bar sounds different from the other one, because the one is higher or more deeper than the other one.
Okay.
So when they pick it, yeah.
Right, I think what we're going to do now is to go back, speak to Willem and your colleagues, and then we start doing some more of it, and I'll get guides for everybody to walk around.
Hello everyone.
Hi, Selwyn.
Selwyn is the sculptor that made this artwork. You're welcome to come and see us if you want to.
So there's an artwork and it's called datum. The reason why I call it datum is the definition of a datum is either a single data point or a point around which everything else is arranged. So you're welcome to feel the sculpture, and then if you take out your phone, you open the camera and you scan it, sort of at arm's length, it should then redirect you to the point at which you can download the app.
We just moved to Willem's.
Yes, let's move over there. What's your reading?
Yeah, let's read.
What does it say?
This is Burberry.
That's it?
This one is Winery.
Okay.
Phew, this is old English, eh? Burberry is an obscure adjective for grotesque ornamentation and absurdities.
That's very well read. Do you want to open it and let's feel it?
Yeah,
And tell
yeah.
us what it looks like.
Yeah.
Can you take the lid first? Good. It's quite a complex one. You can pick it up and feel it properly.
Just take it out then.
Because I'm learning from you now.
Me too.
To me, it means nothing. Is this a mouth? What is it?
That's a claw.
A claw.
It's a bit more of the text here for you. I've got it here.
Okay.
So, Burberry, as you read, it's an obscure adjective for
Yeah.
grotesque and ornamentation and absurd things they often use in architecture.
Yeah, yeah,
So the creature you're touching there,
yeah.
you often see a very ornate kind of a lion in architecture, and that's where you've got there. One such a Burberry concoction is the Borean. This respected and established heraldic monster has a spear for a tongue, a shark's dorsal fin, a lion's forelegs and hind legs ending in eagle claws. That's what you're feeling. You're
Okay,
feeling
yeah.
its claws just Yeah. The head is a bull with the semicircular
yeah,
horns curving
yeah.
inwards. We got them. Yes,
Yes.
there you
It's fascinating.
It's a very good piece of carving there as well.
Okay.
Very complex color.
And now, of course, you're allowed to touch it, and I'm not, so I depend on you to tell me what it feels like.
Excuse me?
Which is the one you're looking at there?
We're looking at one called Barbary.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You're gonna feel it too.
mythological
There you go.
beast thing.
Yes, yes. Come and tell us what you must come and tell me what it feels like for you.
The shape and texture of the jackfruit or breadfruit is Bacchae because of its resemblance to the small mulberry.
There you go.
Indeed, it belongs to the Moraceae or mulberry family. It's a cluster of large berries on a thick shaft made of jelutong and tambuiti on Thursday, 6 May 1993.
Okay, shoot.
Do you use Braille a lot? Do you like Braille? Now with technology, there's so many options.
So I'm one of the old school, and
I
I
like
depend entirely on it. Okay, now and again I go to technology, but my main medium of writing is Braille.
I find it such a beautiful kind of writing.
What, Braille?
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot.
I'm glad to find someone who uses it.
And you know, I've realized that students of today
Yes.
who are learning through technology
Technology.
cannot spell like I do.
Well, that's true for the
I know my spelling like hell, you know.
You're saying such a true thing.
What here? And we're here. There it is.
Okay.
So what is this name? Can you read the name for us?
Bacilliform.
That's it. That's it.
Something that is bacillary is minutely rod-shaped
Okay.
or made up of small rods. Bacillus from bacillum is the Latin for a small stick. Bacilliform denotes the form of a single little rod.
You read so beautifully.
You do, like,
It's
and that's very
extraordinary to
quick.
see the Braille and to hear this from you.
And I'm reading with one finger, but to keep the next line,
Yes.
I use this finger.
Oh, that is
interesting.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Sure. Shall we look what's inside?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this
Oh,
one
lovely.
is my favorite.
This is beautiful.
What's this now?
What do you say those are?
Sticks, huh?
Yes, I'll read a bit more of the text for you. I've got the text here. The most fundamental properties of the textures of igneous rocks are crystallinity and granularity. And they can, for example, be designated amongst others as hyaline.
smallest bacillary phenomena are found in the world of microbiology. Willem always does this, you know. He gives you this very, very dense definition. He takes you right to the beginning of the universe.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's true.
You
So
have
they're
to
little
interpret it
sticks.
yourself.
And I like the sound they make. Don't you?
Yeah.
It's very satisfying to
It's actually the sculpture, but it leads with its sound as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
For me, this is music, you know.
It is music, actually.
Yeah, because I'm a musician.
Are you? What's
Yes.
your instrument?
Trumpet and flugelhorn.
Beautiful.
Good, this
Wavy
one.
patterns and bars invected or bars engrailed respectively with upturned or downturned crested patterns.
Light wood or dark wood? Light.
The one on top is light.
The term bascule is French for seesaw, but is used in English for any apparatus that operates as a seesaw, and sometimes also for a fold formed by a loose garment.
What would this be? Such a wonderful touch. Such a wonderful texture.
Well, we're waiting
Okay.
for your hands to tell us.
Is this now the base of it?
Yeah, that's
Unfortunately, I don't know what it is.
Well, let's read the braille. Do some smart braille reading.
Belinite. Belinotic. Belinite is dart-shaped. The Greek for a dart or a javelin. Javelin, can it be?
Yes.
Being Belinol. A belinite is a mysterious fossil with a straight cylindrical appearance.
Oh, I see. Yes. Almost looks like two cows or two animals looking.
Bicaudate means having two tails.
Okay.
Cauda is a tail in Latin. A bicaudate coin understandably never loses a toss-up. In contrast, bicipital or bicipitus means having two heads or extremities.
And it's fins. And then he's going into a botanical description of a particular.
These double head and tail concepts are celebrated in a single mythological animal, a bicipitous bicaudate cow.
stop right there in front of you.
Goats and giraffes are bicorn. The rhinoceros is bicorn with its two horn-like processes arranged one in front of the other.
I've got the artist right next to you. You want to ask him why he's giving you such hard work.
Yeah.
This one I used a saw to cut up the planks. Then it's planer to make them the same thickness.
Okay.
Then I drew the design on these planks. But they are interesting planks because the wood is very... If we lift the lid and we take it out, it will...
Yeah, the wood feels very, very light for me.
If you give me your hand and you touch it,
Yeah.
and you feel from the top there, that's say the top,
All right.
and you come down,
Yeah.
you will see there's no joint.
No, I can see there's no
If
joint.
you
It's
run your
just-
finger like along there, it's just
Yeah.
smooth. But there is a joint here. If you feel this way, there's a joint
Yeah,
there and
and
there's a
then
joint
here.
there.
Yeah, I've seen two joints here.
The wood is very white and very black, like a zebra,
Oh,
and it's called zebra wood.
Zebra wood. Okay.
Yeah, it's got those white, black sort of stripes.
Stripes. Okay. Is it not expensive for you guys to buy this wood?
This wood is very expensive. I think I only used it once in this project.
Oh, okay.
So I have used it again in other projects, but well, it's difficult to get.
Yeah, I can believe it.
That wood is not easy. It's special. So that's why I made this bezant, which is like golden coins.
Okay.
In the old days, it comes from the word for Byzantine,
Yeah.
for the capital city of Turkey. And the Byzantine period, when it's the golden age of Christianity.
Yes.
And that's a cross, so it goes back very far, the symbolism of the cross of
Okay.
that.
So someday,
It's a cross bezant.
yeah, in your next work, you must put Jesus on top of the cross.
But it is in the text there somehow. It will tell you what wood. It will even tell you the day on which I made it.
Oh, okay.
The date and
It has the history.
yeah, it's all there.
Let me check.
If you just read anyway, you'll see the name of the woodland. This is new.
It's quite heavy.
It's really.
Is it also wood?
This is lead wood. That other was zebra wood.
Oh,
But this one, weet jy, with the first exhibition in '95, I think it was at the Johannesburg Biennale. I think it was '95, was it '93? '95. Somebody stole it.
okay.
That big thing.
They stole this thing. And then I made this is a new one. I made it, as I found out they stole it that night, I made another one.
Can you believe it? Okay, let's go and sit on that side.
Okay.
Yeah, grab. Here I am. I think you guys rely very heavily on how to listen and how to feel things with your hands in order to understand the world around you. Because of that, you are able to, perhaps through your sense of touch, you can understand things differently and perhaps better sometimes than people who have all five senses. But what about the sense of hearing? For us, sighted people, you know, the work is very much like a graveyard. It's black, the boxes are endless boxes. You don't see the end of it. It's a lot of stuff, eh? And we can't open any of them. They are dead, like a graveyard. It's buried. But when you come along, the work changes from a graveyard to a book, a dictionary, because you can open it. You open a book and you read it, you can understand it. When it becomes a book, it's a very strange book, because have you ever seen a book in any sense so big that you can walk around in it? This is such a book. You walk around inside the book, and you walk from page to page to page, and you open the pages as you walk along. So it's a very new idea of how a book can be, that we walk around in the book. And if it hadn't been for you, we would probably never have extended it to the sense, the auditory sense, the sense of hearing, the sense of the best contemporary classical music one can find, to enrich the work. So that is what we've done. And what Jaco has done with some of, he's now composed to bring a new abstract and sense to the work. You have to think and interpret and enjoy on yet another level. So I think that's a great thing, to spice up the work like that. And I thank you very much for being tolerant with us. And hopefully I will get to the end of the alphabet. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here.
You walk into a gallery, you go with your family and you just go with them and they need to interpret on your behalf. Whereas with this, you as a blind person can do the interpretation for yourself. You can put the picture of the sculpture and what it brings to you when you touch it, and then the words describing it going with it and tell you what you want to think, what you think of it at the end of the day. I mean, they did making the app and adding the music to the sculptures as well. So when I tested it last week for the first time, the first one I tested was where he used cathedral music, and I said, wow, I realized this kind of music, and it gives you the feeling of where that kind of thing would have been hosted, the sculpture itself. So I was very much interested to see what is linked to which sculpture. This was a good innovation.
What Willem has done is, in my case specifically, combined three loves. I love languages and words and etymology. I love wood. I do some woodwork, playing around with different woods, and I also love music. So combining these three items in a new experience is actually quite amazing for me.
First of all, yeah, thank you for making a very simple and easy to use app. It really works well. And it picked up the codes easily and quickly. It was a pleasure to use. What is nice about this, you know, I am very keen on Braille, but the dimension the audio adds is that you can listen while you are exploring the sculpture, which is not really possible or very difficult while you're reading the Braille. The sound effects and music that was chosen, I found to be really very illustrative of the particular sculpture. So I think this is a really great extension.
For me, really, it's a whole new world for me, and I love it.
Good evening. Thank you for waiting up to this stage to have the question and answer session. One of the questions that have already come through, and you are very fortunate tonight, I must say, to have a panel here that knows about everything about Willem Boshoff and his work. First question that came through is to the blind people, how is the new technology comparing to the old Braille that you used to? Does it enhance your experience of the artworks? Susan, would you like to go first?
Good evening, everybody. Yes, it definitely does, because when you read the Braille, you must think what you're reading and you must remember what you read while you're opening afterwards and you've got the sculpture in your hand. When you do with a new app, and thank you very much for this innovation, you can listen to what is said about the sculpture and what has been used and what it links to, and then as well, as I said with the insert at the beginning, that it's very interesting to see what music component was linked to the sculpture itself, but it gives a new dimension of experiencing the whole artwork.
Questions. Abel, your take on it?
I would actually agree with her. I've had a chance of being in her office to get a bit of a demonstration. It's quite a wonderful app. Though I haven't tested it myself, but it's a technology of a high quality, so to put it.
Okay. It takes a village to raise a child, and I think in this case it took a lot of knowledge and intellect and innovation to bring a new aspect to Willem Boshoff's work. Marco, you are the app developer. Can you just give us a short idea of what your pleasures and your challenges were in this process?
Sure. The requirements for developing this app was very specific. It required us to build a simplistic app for user interface, high contrast colors, and a very sensitive QR code to send the QR codes to send that information back to the application.
Okay. And then we had the pleasure of adding sound to this whole experience, or to enhance the experience. Can you tell us something more about that, Mr. Jaco, composer?
I must say, as you know, I've been working with Willem's works for a very long time, and I've been adding sound to Willem's sculptures mostly. And when I saw the blind alphabet for the first time, the first thing I thought is that we have a sense missing. We have the sense of touch, we have the sense of smell, but we do not have the sense of sight. And immediately my first reaction was, can we add a sense of sound? And that was really where it all was sparked. And I'm very happy that I could pursue that and add sound to all 40 of these sculptures.
Yeah, and indeed, when I listened to it, it was very, very special to see the understanding that you had of the individual artworks. Salman, you were tasked with developing a QR code as a new sculpture to be added to these 40 works in the MTN art collection. Can you tell us something about how that experience panned out for you?
Sure, thank you, Annelie. Yes, I was commissioned by UJ and MTN to create the entry point into Willem's work, and I took inspiration from the work which I entered into the development program last year and created a smaller version which visitors can then scan and can then get redirected to a point at which they download the app, which gives them access to the sound that accompanies each piece.
And it is a lovely work indeed. I've been walking around it all the time and feeling it and touching it, as I'm not supposed to do so. Helene, in the absence of Willem tonight, you are so au fait with his oeuvre, and you've written a lot about it, and you know how he feels about the blind alphabet. How do you think, if he had to be here, what would be his reaction to the new technology that's been added?
Well, he's very interested in that, although I must say yesterday he said a marvelous thing. He said, you know, somebody blind people and the guides we use to look at this work can actually read Braille faster than they can speak. And I experienced a bit of that with April when we went through the works the other day. But there's technology, and it opens up new possibilities. So I think we have to wait and see what the artist does. Right now he's working on another letter in the blind alphabet. What's fascinating is to remember that it started in 1993. One of the pieces in your video mentioned that. And originally in the 90s as well, he would think a lot about the idea of disenfranchisement, which is not only a matter of who can vote and who can't, but also sometimes I think people who are challenged in any particular sense are disenfranchised by the way things are. And he loves to turn the tables on that. We as sighted people who think we know something about art are useless when we walk through blind alphabet. And I saw that last week when we made that video, both using the technology and the traditional Braille, showing me how little I know about the sense of touch. And now Jaco's made us aware about really knowing the sense of sound. So the blind alphabet continues. We're in 2021 and it's going on, and it's engaging different ways of knowing, and that's what Willem Bossel's work is about, exploring different ways of knowing. Do you agree, Jaco?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, Willem has always been fascinated by sound. I said recently about the Kyk Afrikaans, but in the majority of his works, he always has some idea or sense of sound when he's sculpting. And it's a central feature in his artworks. And I'm happy to be able to add that part that he always wanted to add. Some of it he's even added himself, and now I can just do it in a different way.
And something to remember, I think, is Willem Bossel said anything he makes is basically a conceptual book, and he challenges us to read it, which one can see. There's a retrospective exhibition on at the Javits Art Centre at the moment with lots of blind alphabet pieces in it as well. So that's the challenge. Come and look.
Annelie, if I may, I just want to add that people must remember that 97% of blind people cannot read Braille. So this gives them the opportunity to experience the artworks in full by the use of sound and the app.
Well, that's good to know. I thought it was a much higher percentage that could read Braille.
And just to add to that, we from the old school cannot just hold on to the past and not move with the times. And I guess it's time for us now to move on with the times and get the hang of the technology and get used to it.
But I hope you will always read Braille the way you do it.
Yeah. I'm from an old school. It will always be my second nature.
I think what is rather important from the side of the University of Johannesburg and MTN is that this is a step into the direction of the fourth industrial revolution. And in this process, we acknowledge people who have been disenfranchised, as you mentioned, and in a very tactile, but also in a very sensitive way, I think. It's moving forward, and it's getting. We were very excited. I just wanted to show everybody I've got a cell phone. I can do something with a QR code. I never even knew what a QR code was, but now all of a sudden it opened up visions for me, and I can just imagine what it means to people who are not sighted and who don't have the privilege of really seeing what I'm seeing.
But if I understand this correctly, if I may, you can have the app as a sighted person, you can get the information, but you may not touch the sculpture.
Yes, that's correct. That's the one thing of a gallery. Don't touch. Do not touch. And that is, it's very difficult with children because they want to touch. And I'm still a children, so I also want to touch. But now the roles have changed and blind people are allowed to touch while the sighted is really excluded from that activity.
Willem was saying the other day, in 1995, I don't know if everyone remembers the Great Biennale, and the blind alphabet was exhibited for the first time really there, Joburg Art Gallery. And he remembers over weekends there would be 20 or 30 visually challenged people coming to the gallery, walking through it, exciting, saying, come and look over here. And that's the way it should be. So my congratulations to MTN and to Annelie and Vijay for recreating a bit of that experience for us.
Thank you for the kind words. I do not see any new questions coming in. Shall we wrap up? Anything that you want to add, Abel?
Nothing at the moment.
Thank you.
I'm just very excited to see our visually impaired people teaching us sighted people more about art, and tonight is that very rare opportunity.
Thank you, Susan.
Having said very much lately, I just want to say, Helene, if you can just send our regards to Willem and say thank you for him taking on this project. And we had a discussion last week as well, so we're waiting for the letter Z, so please try and keep up the good work. Please let you stay healthy and we can continue. And I was part from this development, especially when we did the brailing from the letter A, and we're on L at the moment. So it gives us a new world. It gives us free movement around the galleries who do have that. And I just want, from my side, to extend to other galleries and universities, take part in this. You will enhance your own living, your own knowledge, the experience, because for one day we can move the parts around. You are excluded and we are included.
Good, great.
That's the idea.
Thank you, Susan. Selwyn?
Yeah, I think just on behalf of all young artists, on behalf of emerging artists, it's been a challenging 2 years with almost everything essentially being cancelled. So I think we would just like to thank the people who have organised, facilitated, encouraged, inspired, that have made events and opportunities like the development program possible for all of us. So from us, it's just a thank you.
Thank you. Lilian?
Yes, if I may mention, there's been a request for the letter Z. I can tell you that the letter L is on display. May I invite everyone at the Javits Art Centre in Pretoria. There's a retrospective exhibition called Willem Boshoff's Word Woes. Depending what your first language is, it could also be Willem Boshoff Word Woes. So do come along. It's on all year and into early next year. And there you can see 90 examples of the blind alphabet, which makes such sense in collaboration with this exhibition. So do come along. That exhibition's there, and it was curated by myself with Willem's hand in it as well. And Jaco has also been involved there. So I can offer you the letter L so far.
There's no sound though.
Interesting.
Oh,
Interesting.
there's another
Not
kind
yet.
of sound. Jaco's here. There's another kind.
Thank you, Leon. Marco.
I think just from an app development point of view, it was quite insightful to actually be engaged in a project like this. It's something a little bit more unique, and it definitely brought to light that app developments and developers in the future needs to cater for the visually impaired as well.
Yes.
The functionality is not difficult to implement, but I did notice, and the feedback that we did get from Susan specifically was that there needs to be a little bit more focus on that going forward. So thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Marco. And from my side, thank you to the University of Johannesburg for having an art gallery that can explore things like this. Thank you to MTN SA Foundation for making this possible for us all. And thank you for all the fun and happiness and joy we had in the process of creating the app, creating the QR codes, working with Willem, opening up a whole new world. And I think that is the one thing that each and every one of us can take with us, is that we had the pleasure of participating in something that is new, innovative and exciting.
Just lastly, can I say best wishes to everybody and thanks from Willem. The dreaded COVID strikes everywhere, so he couldn't be here tonight, but best wishes from him to everyone.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much.
You too, thanks.